because it is a fundamental project that is going on of undermining of the West as a whole. Hit at the very roots, say these people are uniquely evil. The white man invented racism, colonialism, slavery, all the other original sins, and then you can say anything about those people, and you can say, as people do, revolution or overthrow of this system is the only thing that will satisfy it. Well, here's where we come to Nietzsche. As you well know, I mean, his essay on the genealogy of morals, when I was reading it in the last few years, I just kept being stunned by some of the... As always with Nietzsche, you have to treat it with gloves.
Because it's so seductive.
Yes.
Because he's so... and also so brilliant a writer,
yes,
that you can't help but be drawn into it. I think he's easily the most formidable opponent of Christianity that's ever written.
Absolutely.
It was the one that came closest to bringing me to saying, but Ressentiment, his insight that one of the key motivators of human behavior and action is hatred of that which is better than us,
yes,
or that looks better. In other words,
yes,
resentment, vengeance, bitterness, a look around and you see the world, everything in the world that you see is interpreted as conspiring against you.
Yes.
And if you want to actually see the world that way, you can get up in the morning and I could have gone through my life thinking about every single quote unquote microaggression that ever happened to me.
Sure.
Every time I was mistaken for straight, every time someone assumed something. It didn't matter to me in the slightest, for fuck's sake. Why would anybody know I was gay before they met? Right. I don't know. I don't care.
Exactly.
And why would that matter to me anyway? My self-esteem is not so fucking fragile.
Right. Well,
that someone uses the wrong word and my whole self-esteem is fractured. I mean, there's a level of, talk about fragility.
Yes.
It's the opposite. It is the fragility of people whose lives have maybe not worked out the way they wanted them to work out, who nonetheless cannot then celebrate the achievements of others, has to attempt to bring them down. And that was also part of what I felt of as a kid. These people are trying to kill off and disincentivize the able, the talented, the skillful, the intelligent. And as if their existence hurts anyone. Well, unless they haven't actually contributed in a way that makes all of our lives... Yes. I mean, I am nowhere near as smart as the coders of Silicon Valley. I'm fucking grateful to have an iPhone. Right? Yes. Why am I hating them?
Right.
I don't get it.
Well, I mean, the truth of what Nietzsche describes, we can all admit if we want to confess to it in our hearts. When we see a person who's much better looking than us, say, do we say, wow, that's just fantastic. I'm so glad for that guy. Or do we say,
fuck him, he got some work done, obviously. He must be doing some steroids.
I hope he's got a small dick. You know, I hope he's really stupid.
Right,
There's all sorts of things we do. Look at the way in which people love seeing beautiful celebrities unhappy.
Oh, yeah.
Why? Because we don't want them to have everything. Why? There's a great big building in New York. It's like the tallest damn building in town. It's like 150 floors or something. It's all owned by Russians, and it's the tallest building in town. Every now and then there's this wonderful property pornography that's published in one of the papers, which reveals that the residents of this tower are suing the management because the tower sways in the wind, and apparently whenever you use one of the rubbish chutes, it goes off like a bomb. Of course, I love reading these articles. I think,
of course,
fantastic.
We do. Yes,
fantastic. I didn't buy one of these $120 million apartments, and thank goodness I didn't. Otherwise, I'd be swaying up there in the wind. But the point is that we are all, if we admit it, motivated or at risk of being motivated by resentment or ressentiment, which is very close to what he means.
Clive James poem, which was titled "The Book of My Enemy Has Been Remaindered."
Yes, I loved Clive.
And it's.
Did you remember the next line? It says, "The book of my enemy has been remaindered in vast quantities. It has been remaindered, and I am glad." Like he says, like counterfeit goods.
I know, and it's so lovely because it's just this beautiful confession, essentially. That when another Pulitzer Prize goes to another woke mediocrity,
Clive also said it about J.K. Rowling. There's a very funny late talk of Clive James, who I adored. He did a radio talk about J.K. Rowling's success, and he said, "I would, like every other author, I would like to talk about her book sales, but if I open my mouth, my ground teeth will start being spat out." It's
human. It's incredibly human.
It's a completely human thing. So here's the thing, though, is that we all have a choice in our lives. That's why I write I was fascinated. I was thinking about gratitude a lot in recent years for several reasons.
That's to my mind, it's the most important insight of your book.
Oh, I'm so pleased you
Gratitude.
say that.